Good afternoon, everybody. It is March 9, 2024. It's approximately 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. How's everybody doing? Welcome, newcomers, and welcome to those back to my channel. I hope everybody's doing well today. It is raining here in eastern Kentucky. Actually, it's like, right now it's just like a very light rain, but it was a lot heavier earlier today. And it's going to be raining all day. And it was raining a little bit a couple of days ago. It's just like a big hot mess here. But I hope everybody's doing well. I've got a bunch of news, and then some information I would like to share. So, and I'm going to respond to some of your comments. So first, I'm still on the New Jersey mailing list, etc., etc. And they received a message that the water in New Jersey, all around New Jersey, was going to be cloudy and there would be a very low pressure, that the New Jersey water, homes across New Jersey would be getting discolored and low pressure tap water. It was a news break about 2 days ago, and when I clicked on the link, lo and behold, they removed the article. So now if it's happening in New Jersey, it could be happening across the country, but maybe they're not going to tell you about it. There was something else that happened. There was actually an armed burglary. Somebody held a gun to a store owner in Freehold, New Jersey. Freehold, this was on Throckmorton, which was literally 5 minutes from my house, my former residence. So that was alarming. You know, New Jersey and Freehold, these are nice upscale neighborhoods, and yet there was an armed burglary of a shop owner. I also called Ryan at CIS when we posted the video about cognitive investigative, where is it here? Brian Mitchell, Cognitive Investigative Services, because I wanted to find out what was going on there. And he did confirm that the sheriff is really above the county lawyer. The sheriff is actually above my favorite Bureau of Instigation. So the fact that Stephen Friends, the FBI whistleblower, stated, not only in his book, but in a podcast, that the sheriff's departments across the country, they have the power to reject these criminal activities. They don't need to bring them into their communities. So the fact that a sheriff would allow these corrupt programs into their communities and allow county lawyers to make the decisions when they are the law of the land, it tells you that there's corruption afoot, that there is a financial incentive. So he did state that the sheriff is above the county lawyer. The sheriff is above the FBI. So in case anybody wanted to know that, yes, so it is the sheriff who is violating our rights across the country by not accurately reporting our crimes, taking our reports seriously, or performing investigations, or referring us to other agencies, etc., etc., or just telling us to file a civil suit. You know, they're really good about that. File a civil suit. Let's pass the buck. We don't want to take responsibility, the fact that we are the law of the land. Let's just pass the buck. We'll give it to the lawyer. The lawyer will say that we don't handle it. Pass it to somebody else. Just pass the buck. So yes, so we're going to confirm that is the sheriffs around the country that are allowing these corrupt programs into their communities, profiting off of them, and doing nothing to help targeted people. So it's a fact. Okay, so also somebody commented that they tried to locate that the Mason whistleblower in the videos that I posted. The one who there were a couple of videos of him on TikTok, and I posted them to my channel on March 7. Let's see, was it March 7? Let me just scroll down here. It was March 2nd and 3rd. And they tried to contact him, and his channel is gone. So I would imagine his channel is gone for a reason. Maybe he'll pop up under another channel. That does happen to whistleblowers, right? So he might pop up on under another channel. But I'm glad that we were able to locate those undercover footages. So now I want to tell you that I received a phone call. I thought it was really bizarre. But I get these weird phone calls from time to time. And I'm just going to tell you flat out, guys, if for some reason you find my phone number online and you call me from a blocked number or a number that doesn't pop up on my caller ID and I don't know you, 1, I will not take your call. 2, I will not take your call if you call back again. And 3, I just won't take your call, okay? So I know, targeted people, we need to protect ourselves and something. But if you're calling to talk to me, somebody you've never met before, you find my phone number on the internet, and you want to hire me for services, I will not take your call if you don't provide a phone number. And the reason is, if you're going to hire me for any kind of services, particularly if they involve any kind of psychological services, you will have to complete a bunch of forms, just the way you would if you were going to a doctor. You'll have to provide me your name, address, phone number, anything that you've been diagnosed with, your medical history, all of that, and sign a HIPAA agreement, okay? So if you're going to call me from a blocked phone number and say you want to hire me for something, and you'll call me back because you can't give me your phone number, sorry, I won't take your calls. They'll be blocked. And that's what happened. I received a phone call. Now, I'm just going to say it's a perp, okay? I'm going to say it's a perp because it's a woman named Regina. I'm just going to call it out because she did not call back, okay? And she left me a voice message and then a transcript, She says, "Hi, Lorraine, this is Regina, and I've been a targeted individual for 6 years. I got your name and number from Chief Jones' website. I would really like to talk to you as soon as I can. I would like to see about your services, and I can't leave my phone number. I'm calling back. It would be a restricted number. I'm going to call tonight." Okay, so she didn't call back. I am not affiliated with Chief Damon Jones. For anybody that knows me from a long time ago, I was actually the moderator on his podcast call for 2 years. I actually met him in person. I'm not going to go into great details about it. I quit. Just for the record, I deliberately quit his podcast. Long story, won't get into here, but I quit. And I have been asking him for 2 years to get my name off of his website. And he hasn't done it yet. I sent him another email. So, anyway, if I don't want to associate with somebody, I don't want to associate with somebody. Just going to leave it at that. Okay, so that's one. So, Regina, if you're really a targeted person, send me an email. You could send it to alternativehomesteading@gmail.com so that I can have your IP address, so I can actually see that you're a real person and not a bot phone caller. Okay? And send me your contact information. And anybody out there that wants my services, unfortunately, you're going to have to provide me that information anyway. Okay? And if we don't have a relationship already, like over the last few years, I've spoken to so many people via email, via this channel, in the comments section and stuff. If I don't have any kind of a relationship with you and you want to exchange phone numbers, that's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. I'm a targeted person too. And not only I'm a targeted person, in this day and age, I don't want to be giving out my phone number to people. I mean, although, of course, all the perpetrators have it and stuff. But if you're going to hire me for any kind of services, I would need that information from you anyway. Okay, so enough of that. That's the Regina. Regina, you're off the list for now. We checked off on the Freemason. Okay, so I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and it really bothers me. And I've been commenting on a lot of people's videos who have experienced the same thing, and maybe some of them perhaps are not aware that they're actually targeted. And what I'm referring to is filing police incident reports and then having the police turn around and say that you filed too many reports. Okay, so there is no law. Just so you know, I did a little research. And I also asked AI. There is no law or a limit to the number of police incidents a civilian may file in their lifetime. Okay, so let's say, somebody's 20 years old and they've got to file an incident report. Let's say they were involved in a traffic accident. Let's say they witnessed a crime and they call the police. Perhaps there's a domestic violence issue. Perhaps there's some situations at school. There are a myriad of reasons why anyone would need to call the police. And you generally do so to document an incident, particularly if it involves an insurance company. So if there's home vandalism that's going to be reported to an insurance company, you need a police report. If you're in an auto accident, you need a police report to file with your insurance company. There are a myriad of other things. If you're going into court, they're going to ask, did you file a police report? Domestic violence, did you file a police report? And when you say no, they're like, well, why didn't you file a police report? Okay, so there are a number of reasons why one would need to file a report, get that incident report number, and have the information that you reported accurately documented, not falsified, okay? So I wanted to ask AI, and the reason was because the Manalapan Police Department, when I lived at 52 Sutton Drive in Manalapan, New Jersey, in a home I lived in for 30 years as original owner by the time I left there, the Manalapan Police Department took it upon themselves on December 10, 2018, to call me to ask if they can drop off a property loss statement. They've never done that before. I didn't really think anything of it other than question Lieutenant Thomas Mantle on the phone, stating that they never provided one to me before. He said, oh, we have. I said, no, you have not. Like, do not tell me that you gave me something. Don't gaslight me. Don't tell me you gave me something that you never gave me. You never, ever gave me a police incident report for property loss. You never validated my property loss and all the times that I reported it. So here, finally, he's doing that. I was discombobulated because my cat was targeted the night before with directed energy weapons, and he died. I was up with him all night long. So I get a knock on the door like later in the day, and it's Officer Joyner and Tina Booth. Tina Booth, I only knew her name after the fact. I was not introduced to her. I did not know her name. She had no form of identifying information on her physical body. She didn't provide me a business card. I didn't know who she was. The officer at least was an officer. I knew he was an officer. And he was wearing a body cam. I never did get that footage. And also they wiped clean the footage on my porch. But anyway, the reason Tina Booth claims that I needed to be evaluated was because I filed too many police reports. Now, you have to understand, at that point, I was 62 years old. In 62 years, could you imagine, I not only witnessed crimes, have called the police when I've witnessed crimes, have witnessed car accidents and reported it, have witnessed animal cruelty and animal abuse, and the fact that I had a feral cat colony that was registered with the health department, registered and licensed at the health department, Yes, the police department would be aware of some of those things because it related to my feral cat colony if it was being broken into or animals would show up dead. And in fact, it was the Manalapan police that told me to install trail cameras. And of course, when I did and caught people, they didn't want to report those incidences. The reports would show up blank. Okay, so the whole agenda was really to collect my DNA, discredit me, label me, and search my house. But Tina Booth, the piece of crap little weenie girl from the Monmouth PESS, yeah, I'm calling you out, little weenie girl, biatch, you are a fraud. You have committed medical and psychiatric fraud along with the Manalapan Police Department, and don't think I haven't forgotten, because you are on my hit list, okay? Just saying. So anyway, the whole reason she decided I need to be evaluated was because I filed too many reports. Even though I provided evidence and had witnesses, okay? So I asked AI, is there a limit to the number of police incidents a civilian may file in their lifetime? The response is, there isn't typically a specific limit to the number of police incidents a civilian may file in their lifetime. However, it is essential to consider several factors. There are legal thresholds. While there may not be a limit on the number of incidents one can report, there are legal thresholds related to credibility of reports. Well, I can repeal any of those because I provided evidence. So repeated false reports or reports made with malicious intent can lead to legal consequences such as fines, charges for filing false reports. I never filed a false report. However, the Manalapan Weenie Boys, the Manalapan Police Weenie Boys, Sergeant Carey, calling out Sergeant Carey, Lieutenant Thomas Mantle, who's now a captain, the new chief of police, which is Edward Neese, but at the time it was that piece of crap, misogynist, woman hater, Michael Fountain, who's retired, who really should be in prison, but so those creepos are the ones that were filing false reports, okay? So now AI continues to go on to say, what about law enforcement policies? Some law enforcement agencies may have internal protocols for managing repeated reports from the same individual. They may prioritize cases based on the severity, credibility, and available sources. So with regards to that, the Manalapan Police Department has nowhere on their website any protocol, zero, no protocol related to individuals filing incident reports or claims. And again, of course, they're going to prioritize cases based on the severity, credibility, and available sources. That would be across the board for anybody calling in. Somebody who has their bicycle stolen versus a domestic violence reporting, one will be more severe than the other, and they will, have their resources, their officers come out in a timely manner for what is most important. However, I will say, and maybe it's just because I live down the block, or maybe it's because I'm on their hit list, that whenever I call the Manalapan Police Department, they were at my house pronto! Boom, boom, boom! They were at my house literally. I could count down on a stopwatch how fast they would be at my house. It was like a party. So next is resource constraints. Law enforcement agencies have finite resources, and they may prioritize responses based on the urgency and severity of incidents. Repeated non-emergency or low priority reports from the same individual may receive a less immediate attention. That makes sense. Not me. I always got check mark. I always received immediate attention, especially when my neighbor called the police to file a complaint against me as I was walking on my driveway, and she claimed that I cursed at her newborn child, who she claims was in the trunk of her vehicle but was not. She actually walked out of her house to start an argument with me to call the police, and her usual screaming child was in the house. Okay, now next is reporting mechanisms. In many jurisdictions, there are multiple avenues for reporting incidents, including emergency hotlines, non-emergency hotlines, online portals, and in-person visits to police stations. The availability and accessibility of these reporting mechanisms may vary based on location. Well, I made it really easy eventually for the Manalapan Police Department, because they always falsified my incident reports. They would falsify the time that I would be gone. They would falsify what happened inside my house. They would falsify things that my mother said or didn't say. They falsified everything, lies of omission. I decided to place it in writing, and I gave them permission to literally cut and paste my accounting of the vandalism or theft or whatever it was. I gave them permission, written permission, to cut and paste into the body of their incident report. So I made it really easy for them. You know, they're really lazy. They don't want to write some long, drawn-out thing. Well, that's not true, because they would. And it would be a whole bunch of nonsense BS. So anyway, I made it really easy for them. They don't have an online ability for you to file an incident report, at least the last time I looked. So now overall, there may not be a specific limit on the number of incidents a civilian can report. It's essential to use reporting mechanisms responsibly and prioritize genuine emergencies and concerns. Additionally, repeated reports about the same issue may prompt law enforcement to address underlying issues or concerns more comprehensively. Well, I never reported the same thing twice. I reported vandalism, yeah, but the same thing wasn't vandalized twice. Well, no, that's not true. The trees were vandalized multiple times. And I had proof, because I had expert tree arborists examine my trees and told me that I needed to move from New Jersey. That's basically what he said. He said I need to move. He said I need to move from New Jersey. So now I asked AI, is there a law that police or law enforcement violate when they falsify incident reports? So AI says, well, first of all, it repeats. Okay, it says, is there a law to prevent police? Oh, okay. I asked multiple questions. Is there a law that police or law enforcement violate when they falsify incident reports? And then I asked, is there a law to prevent police from not filing incident reports for a valid crime? And what are the consequences of police omitting information from an incident report and falsifying the victim's statements of fact? The victim's statement of fact. The statement of laws regarding falsification of incident reports and failure to file reports can vary depending on jurisdiction. However, there are several general principles and laws that may apply. On the fabrication of reports, falsifying incident reports is generally considered a form of misconduct. You hear that? When police file an incident report that is false, it is a form of misconduct and may be a violation of both state and federal laws. This could include charges such as obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, or perjury, depending on the circumstances. Then there is a duty to report. Police officers typically have a duty to accurately report incidences they are involved in or witness. Failure to file a report for a valid crime could be considered neglect of duty or dereliction of duty, which may have consequences ranging from disciplinary action within the department to legal repercussions. The consequences of omitting information or falsifying reports can be severe. This behavior undermines the integrity of the criminal justice system, compromises investigations, and can lead to wrongful arrests or convictions. Depending on the severity and impact of falsification, consequences may include termination from the police force, criminal charges, civil lawsuits, and damage to the officer's credibility in future cases. It's important to note that police departments often have internal policies and procedures for handling incidences of misconduct, including falsification of reports. Additionally, external oversight bodies such as internal affairs divisions, civil review boards, or state agencies may investigate allegations of misconduct and hold officers accountable. In summary, falsifying incident reports and failing to file reports for valid crimes are serious offenses that can have legal, professional, and ethical consequences for police officers. These actions undermine the trust and confidence that the public places in law enforcement agencies and can erode the legitimacy of the criminal justice system. So, guys, I look forward to your questions and comments. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. Please hit the thumbs up. And yes, we need to expose them all. The organized persecution, the smear campaign, the warning about targets, their tactics, the gang stalking subculture. And I am powerful. You are powerful. And we are powerful. And they are cowards. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that clarification of information. So, yes, so when police officers or law enforcement falsify incident reports, lies of omission, or fail to file the reports, it is a form of misconduct. They could be in violation of both state and federal laws. It may include obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, or perjury, depending on the circumstances. Yes. So, I hope you enjoyed that. And actually, guys, there is no limit to the number of police incidents a civilian may file in their lifetime. There's no such law. There's no such incident. Check with your local police department. Check on their website. If not, call them and ask them. Let's say your house is vandalized 10 times in 6 months. And if you call 10 times for 10 separate incidences, let's say the outside of your house is vandalized. Somebody draws a big X on the side of your vinyl siding. Yeah. Or how about somebody breaks into your garage and damages the concrete? Or how about somebody slices your new asphalt driveway in half and then saws it down to make it look dull? Or how about sawing and tearing off branches from a 25-year-old tree in the middle of your yard? So if you were to file all of those complaints, valid complaints with evidence, don't you think police officers need to accurately report that information? I do. So anyway, there are no legal thresholds to the number of incidents you may file in your lifetime with the police department. And if there are, for that individual police department, they need to disclose that somewhere in their policies and procedures that should be on their website. So anyway, I look forward to your questions and comments on this, and I'm going to sign off for now.